I really do like working with Streamlabs though. Like it is very, very, very nice. Hello, hello. I'm assuming the stream is live now. Hi, today I am going through some of my code that I've written yesterday. I spent like, wait one sec. I have to start charging for this time because I am actually working on work stuff. It just happens to be open source. Let me move this over here. Okay, so yeah, I am working on a pretty exciting piece of software that I really like this idea like quite a lot. Um, so basically, I work at a web development agency that builds their own custom CMS. There are some technical reasons why that's the case. There are also a lot of other reasons why that's the case. Mainly, it enables them to move faster as an agency. There's not really a good CMS right now that does exactly what they need it to do and works with their workflow very, very well, so they just built their own. It's older software, but it runs pretty well. However, we're trying to change how that works right now. We're trying to reimagine what the CMS would look like if it were created today. Trying to get things to run faster or be more optimized, stuff like that. And part of that is taking the little blocks we write, like templates, basically, I guess. They're just Rails render functions. Taking those and trying to convert them to a framework that can run within JavaScript in the browser so we don't have to do everything server-side. So I did a lot of work trying to look over all the frameworks that I know, see which one might be able to help us out. But I really could not find anything, which sucks. So I decided it would be after some late night dev work with a friend, talking over the problem. We looked at Card, which is this really, really, really good website builder. It lets you build websites really, really quickly, and they're extremely optimized, right? I think they're built with Bootstrap. All the CSS is inlined. It works, right? So I looked at their source code and how they like to send this stuff back and forth between the server and the client, and they do a lot of work with they most of it's all in a JSON format, right? And then that got my gears turning, and I was like, oh, I remember stuff like this. And I looked at Glimmer VM, which I've been a fan of for forever. It is basically what it does is it takes well, let me put it in this VM right here. Basically what it does is it takes like Handlebars code, compiles it down into a binary, if I can remember where this is. I think it's in bin. No, it's in packages. Lib slash or packages at Glimmer, and then this is in compiler. So nope. That would not. I think it's an opcode compiler. No, it's in compiler under lib and under wire encoding. They basically compile it down into a binary, which skips the. It skips everything. It skips all of the parsing that the browser normally has to do. It's more optimized and smaller than JSON, and it is really, really fast, and it is interruptible, which is really, really, really great. So they have this entire format thing. However, it is very, very tightly tied to JavaScript, right? A lot of this cannot run without that, which I'm not exactly a fan of. So what I am wanting to do is basically rewriting all of this, reimagining what this code looks like, maybe writing a less optimized version of it. And then uh, creating, a wire format that allows these components to be server rendered anywhere. What I mean by that is not requiring a JavaScript runtime, right? Because that can complicate a stack if you're not careful, right? And JavaScript tooling for this is not always great. So I mean that I want to be able to write a Rust program or a Ruby class or something like that, a Ruby gem or a Rust crate for, converting a set of components over to server rendering components really in a really optimized way. Um, and then, that same code that you compile just sort of working anywhere. The other main advantage is there are a lot of optimizations that I want to make at the compiler level that I cannot do with Glimmer. Because, so like stuff like I want, whenever there is a style element, I want those styles to automatically be scoped to the current template and for it to generate like class names automatically and to insert those into the head. That's something that Glimmer I can't do. I can't do that right now. So yeah. Anyway, so what I'm working on right now is I'm calling it Sparkle VM because Glimmer, Sparkle, sort of similar words. It's heavily inspired by this because I think this is some very good work. I mean, this, as far as I'm concerned, is possibly the future of web development. What Glimmer is doing. There's some very exciting stuff they're doing with that. But it is heavily inspired by that. However, all of this compiler is, I mean, it's written in TypeScript, which, okay, cool. But TypeScript is not exactly fast, especially the TSC compiler. Or JavaScript is not necessarily fast for compilation. Like, it gets slow very quickly if you're not careful. So I'm writing a compiler in Rust because I love Rust. And yeah, it is gorgeous. Look at this. This is all the code right now just for parsing HTML. This will parse attributes. It will parse children, text children, element children's, and self-closing elements, right? So all this stuff to, let me exit out of that code gen. This editor feels really laggy, which I don't like. I think I'm kind of regretting buying a 4K display. Anyway, but it can parse like all this, right? Like completely valid HTML, even with like spaces and stuff, and it's just it's so cool. This is less than 100 lines of code. This is 137 lines of code. The vast like half of it is these like describing the structure that I want to generate and adding derived debug stuff on there so I can render it out. This is not necessarily pretty. I'm not a huge fan of that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm using a library called nom, parser combinator library. I love this library. Oh my god, this is such a cool library. It is so fast. The only thing I'm not a fan of with it is probably the errors that it gives. It's very hard to like generate user-friendly errors, and I had to dig through their GitHub to find the error guide. Other than that, it is so flexible. So I guess what I wanted to do is I wanted to write some tests for these, just to build up a good, starting thing, add some documentation, because I guess that's all I do on my stream, and explain how all of these little parser combinators work. Like, look at this. This is such a small piece of code for validating HTML. That's so cool. So I'm going to write some tests in line right here and see what we can do with that. I need to, so what's also cool about these parser combinators is you can, they're functions, and so they can all just sort of run when you pass in a string to them. It doesn't require like any special setup or any other function to run them. They run themselves. So that I really, really like. Okay. So let's write some doc comments real quick. Actually, let's just add some examples. Okay, so we will start writing some Rust code here. I have no idea how to write tests in Rust. How to write tests. The Rust programming language. Assert equals. Okay, assert equals. The stuff on the left has to equal the stuff on the right. So I'm gonna write HTML char and then pass in a string real quick. Okay, so this should be equal to okay, and then empty string, and then a, like that. I think that should work, actually. Okay, let me see if I have this right. Let's run, let's see, into the compiler and run cargo test real quick. Failed to select a version for Serta.json with features derive. Looks like I have an error in my cargo.toml 1.057. Versions that meet this requirement. Version. Let's see, this should be. Okay. Derive. Using derive. Oh, this is supposed to be on this Serta object. Whoops, that's really dumb of me. I wrote this at literally midnight. I worked on this for a long time yesterday. I think that's what I'm looking for. This is incredibly laggy, which sucks. Oh my god, it feels so terrible to use Vim on VS Code sometimes. I might be able to do some other stuff. Okay, so let's run the tests and see if this works. I don't think this is going to work how I imagine it to. So in Rust, right here, what I'm doing is, this is what's called a doc comment, and whenever you compile your documentation sort of to, well, I don't really have a good example. Let me pull up the documentation for Serta.json. Oh, no, come back. So like right here, this right here is documentation generated by Cargo. It's all found in the code, which I think is really, really cool. It encourages you to write better code, properly documented code. And you can write these little examples right here, sort of in the comment. Let's look for documentation. We don't have any documentation tests yet, but Rust can compile any code that appears in our API documentation. We'll discuss how to write documentations in the documentation comments as tests. I don't know if it did this entirely correctly. Adding example code blocks can help demonstrate how to run your library. In doing so, Cargo will run the examples, but nothing is worse than examples that don't work. Has changed since the documentation was written. Okay, so we don't have any tests. think I'm doing something wrong. Let result equal HTML char a. That. Go over here, results, save that. Is it running this on my parser? Okay, so the Rust documentation comments don't seem to be working. Rust documentation test not working. Passing or failing a doc test. Pre-processing examples, hiding portions of the example using blank. Documenting macros, attributes, syntax reference. How does this work? The triple backticks, if they're a file running Rust doc, will extract this example and then run it as a test. Please note, if no language is set for the block. There's some subtlety though. Read on for more details. Passing or failing a doc test. I think I can do cargo doc. Which I think that kind of sucks. Documentation test not running. That's what I need. We have a Reddit comment. 0 filtered out. What am I doing wrong? It seems dot tests are not supported for bin targets. Ooh, that sucks. What? What? Okay. So how do I remove? How dot tests work. The way Rust creates dot tests is by building the code sample as a bin target of its own and linking it to create. It's not a surprise. I just hit this today after finding a Google search, which for instance. Okay. Yeah, this is really, really dumb. It's going to write docs with Rust doc and doc test on their library functions. Makes sense that they would want to apply to their bin functions on a small project. Having to separate out helper functions to a separate library is an extra hoop to jump through. Cargo tests, all not running all tests. Take a look at how, yeah, this is really dumb that I can't, that I have to, I mean, I can write a test, you know, right around this, but like it's also extremely dumb that I can't, because, so in my, well, that I just X'd out the wrong thing because my display is very laggy. In here I have, well, I don't think I have the target set up right. I think because I have a main.rs, it's assuming that I want to bin target. So if it's not a library target, I cannot, I can't compile these dot comments, which is very, very, very dumb. +1 for this feature. Yeah, so let's add a comment on this. Just hit this roadblock today with a smaller bin library project that I was working on, and it was very annoying. Wish there was a way to I can change this to a lib target and then create a separate thing for that. Anyway, I wish there was a way to doc comments or doc comment testing or doc tests should be standard across all project types, not just library. It's very yeah, so that sucks. I didn't realize that this was a thing. It's still open 2 years later. Holy shit, that's... I mean, I can't really complain too much, but yeah. Yeah, so let's set up a cargo workspace and then set up, I guess, a testing bin, because we can't have a, a normal thing. Cargo set up workspace. Forget how to do this. A workspace is a set of packages, blah, 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 blah. So I need to add a file called cargo.toml to this, and then we add workspace, numbers equals compiler, and then we will just add on a I guess we can add on a testing thing, cargo new CLI, let's call it CLI. Warning, compiling this crate may not work due to invalid workspace configuration. Current package believes it's in a workspace when it's not. Yeah, so we'll just add on the CLI right here. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, no. Not right there. Not right there. I'm in the wrong directory. Cargo new CLI. Okay, there we go. We got a binary, Rust, bin to lib. I need to convert this Rust package with both a library and a binary. Oh, okay. That uses it. Assuming, should I do... What is he doing here? This is not a good, oh, I don't need a word. Well, yeah, I want to separate this. Well, no, this is going to be a CLI app. So let's delete this. Let's delete this cargo.toml real quick. I might need a workspace later, but if I can get away with, writing a bin or something like that, that would be great. Bin main.rs, let's put the main.rs in here. Source lib, okay. Let's create a lib.rs in here. Mod analyzer, mod code gen, mod parser, and then mod types. Okay, that should work. And then this main.rs, the content of it can just sort of be put in this main.rs right here. Save that, and then we'll just do use crate, because I think that should work. And then this main.rs should be able to be deleted safely, and then our code should work. So how do I compile this? Cargo run -- bin. Okay. So C compiler, cargo run -bin main, and then this should work. Unresolved crate, missing a crate analyzer. How is he importing stuff in here? Extern crate example. I'm using the library example, really complicated, blah, blah, blah. So I may just be able to use parser. Okay, let's try that. Use of undeclared type or module. What's going on with this? That's odd. Analyzer, private module, that's it. Okay, so we have to use that compiler. And then we have to do a pub mod on all these. Because I do want these published. Then I should be able to write doc comments. That's a really bad workaround, and I don't like that, but okay, there we go. That is what it is. So now I have a place to test, and I can write this as lib, which is super nice. And then if I compile or if I run cargo test on this, this should work, I hope. Yes, okay, cool. HTML char. Cannot find function HTML char in this scope. Running one test, okay. Okay, maybe I need to do this. Let's try this. Cargo test. Nope. Undeclared module or, okay. I have this right. I know I do. Doc test cannot find, or not in scope Rust. Cargo test fails to find an associated function in doc tests. How is he running this? Trait, crystal, re-exports, so he has that right there. Traits need to be accessible, thanks for responding. I think because this is not published, it's probably not running for whatever reason. No. Not found in this scope. Cargo doc test. This is an issue. Problem with doc test. Trying to run an example from book. I think it would be my crate name. Add one, indeed. Oh, I think I need to do use compiler parser HTML char. Okay, let's try running this. That's dumb. Oh yeah, because it won't generate stuff. I don't know if I want to do doc tests now. I think it might just be better to write actual tests. Just this syntax is not particularly well. I think I can. No, I mean I want to have all this documentation in here. Like I'd like to document each of these functions, but I don't want to have to publish each of them because there's really no need for me to like have HTML char published or something like that. So Rust writing tests. Let me see what writing a test looks like again. Mod tests. Then it works. If I write a test below this, does it? Does this work? CFG test. Whoops. So this is a test. FN parses single character, so this should assert equal that HTML char of A is equal to okay, empty string, and then a char A. Okay, let's try running this. Not found in this scope. Cargo test not found in this scope. Why is it not found in this scope? do that right there. Super. Yes, okay. So okay, there we go. That should now work. I forget this is a module. Okay. Test one pass dot test compiler running target depths whatever. One pass. So if I make this run differently. Okay, is there a way to add like human readable comments to this? Because that would be pretty cool if I could like. Checking results with the assert macro, that makes sense. Testing quality with those macros. Adding custom failure message. Assert greeting not contains. Yeah, that's not. Okay. Let's see what this assert equal is. How do I add? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's cool. So I can pass into this. So let's say testing single character, parsing with blank and blank. So, well, with string, well, A. That, let's try running this with a space character. It should parse a space character pretty well with okay, let's try this. Thread a failed at assertion. Testing single character, parsing with blank. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So that works as expected, which is super great. And I think I can just write all my tests this way. One passed, one failed, one ignored. Okay, cool. So we're parsing a single character successfully. FN fails on bad characters. So I want to basically write a bunch of these, one for each character. So this specifically doesn't, I forget how this works. I think I can use an assert NE string. No, I'm just gonna skip writing custom names for this. That's dumb. Okay. Oh wait, this has to be a test. So 3, 4. We gotta replace each of these with one of these, so it should not parse this at all. Okay. So this is going to return an error, which I'm fine with. But it should not be equal to this. I don't know if that's the right test to do that with, though. Okay. 2 tests passed. Let's try converting this to an equal thing. I want to see what the output is. Error, none of. See, that's just too much to write. Yeah, we're just gonna do a assert not equal, and these other tests will check for other stuff. Okay, let's do another test and call this fn parses parses single character in string. Okay, and let's do assert equals, and we'll just say HTML char abcd. Okay, this should be equal to okay, bcd, that. Actually, what we'll do is parses single. We will do this input. Well, no. Do this. Okay, so we're testing this with this. So I'm writing a test right now to make sure that this will. So how this library works is it will well, supplied 2 arguments, expected 1 argument. Whoops, this is supposed to be a tuple. Anyway, so how this is supposed to work is, oh, this is not gonna run successfully. This will, I guess, only parse a single string, and then it'll return the rest of the string that it doesn't parse, so that all that stuff is okay. Okay, so I think I don't know what it's going to do on an empty string. That's I think it would fail on an empty string. So yeah, let's well, actually assert. How do I do a match? How do I do pattern matching on this? Because it's not going to be equal to an error. Well, no, it might be. No, it's not going to be exactly equal. Assert. Ooh, Rust assert same. Enum. How do you assert enum? Assert equal naturally, thus also a partial equal implementation for operands. For enums, prepending is the easiest way to do it. Oh, okay. Oh, we can use the matches. Okay, that is much better. I don't really care about. Whoops, I don't really care about trying to get this entirely right. So let's just use a matches. Assert. Oh wait, how is he doing it? Yeah, I think that would be right. Let's try commenting about running that. Assert any, whoops. Okay. Assert equal expected enum found nf item. Well, let's try result error. Like that. FN cannot be formatted using, oh, this is not going to work for me, is it? Yeah, that is not going to be pretty. Yeah, I forgot that this uses its own testing type. Oh, actually, we can unwrap the results, I think. Rust assert panic unit testing. Panic. Testing fails when something in the test function panics. Oh, okay. So I could literally just do, I just need to verify that this panics, so I can just do HTML char this dot unwrap, and then that should panic. That should do everything I need. Except I want to assert that it doesn't panic. Okay. 2 passed, 1 failed. Rust panic. Okay. Catch unwind. The function will return. Okay. How is Rust safe when panics? Unwrap and expect. Okay, expect panics with okay values. Cool. So this should work. This should be valid. Oh, whoops. Case of unwrap and expect. Okay. The opposite of unwrap error. Okay, I want to unwrap that error. Okay, so this should work. Cool. Okay, so that's a much more concise way to write that, which I quite like. All I care about is that error. I don't. I want it to fail on that, on all of these characters. So if I, that's actually a really cool way to think about things. The fact that I can just write stuff like that, that's really cool. Okay, let's write a test for failing on empty characters. Test fn fails on empty characters. Okay. HTML char, let's do this, dot unwrap error. Okay, that should work, I think. Yes, okay, cool. So that's our test for HTML char. Let us write another set of tests. These are going to be big, but HTML char. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's write one for HTML text now. CFG test mod test. I have multiple mods. Actually, is it possible to just like here, like if I do 3 backticks right here and I write some code for like use super HTML char, and then in here do unwrap Does that work for me? Probably not. I would imagine not. Well, apparently I'm writing invalid code. Okay, let's try writing this again. There are too many not found in this scope. There are too many leading super keywords. Okay. Dot test on private function Rust. Dot testing private functions, the Rust programming language. Further, do we automatically use super? I feel that is a feature it allows. Yeah, there's some merit in that if the examples were written somewhere. That kind of makes sense. I think dot tests are compiled to small external programs that call your code. However, perhaps we can make this easier. Something like dot test module again is similar to using the test module. How do I dot test private functions? You need to write a unit test. Fuck. Okay. Is there a better way to write a unit test? Multiple non-tests. Rust test organization. Unit tests tells Rust to compile and run the test code. You'll see that the integration tests go in a different directory because they don't need that annotation. You'll use to specify, recall, testing private functions. Use super integration tests, submodules, and integration tests. Yeah, it would probably not be good to put this all right here. So yeah, let's put this at the bottom, and then we can write our test right here. Okay. Organizing unit tests Rust. Let's see how we can organize this. Test organization. How to organize tests. The current idiom. Go into a submodule of each module. You basically add to the bottom of each file. Then for more, you make the file and test. Organize however you want. Break it down by moving it into a subdirectory. So let's keep this in mind. What you're saying is that if I move my tests into the file, will magically see all the private code. If you have a file, then you can add the lines. Okay. I'm using Cargo now, so the Cargo package is a library. I put all the tests in the test directory, where I put them in different files named for each category of test. These just use the public API. That's not what I'm looking for. How should Rust unit tests be organized? It's recommended to place tests in their own module. The module should be a child of the module whose code you want to test. Private methods are not private to child submodules, but you can, okay. Yeah, so the directory structure for this would be to create a parser folder right here and put that in there. I'm not entirely sure that's, well, yeah, I kind of want to do that. That way the code is less overwhelming for me. So let me do tests.rs, and we will have, basically, we'll be able to copy all of this file right here, all this module into this. This way I can split up the code a little bit easier. And, oh God, that's gonna be terrible. It just works a little bit better. No. There we go. Okay, cool. Then we can delete these last few lines, add a thing like that, and run cargo test, and this should work. Yeah, I know that. Okay, there we go. Now all of our code is just a little bit cleaner, and our tests are in a different file, which I kind of like. I don't know if something like this would grow well with the size of this project, but we'll see, I guess. Okay, so let's start writing tests for each of these. We have our test for HTML text. I think part of writing a parser, a good parser, sorry, we have our test for HTML char, is writing good unit tests for it. So, for instance, this right here. Steps valid input. Because if you're not testing each of these individual components, then it will fail in weird ways you don't expect. So, like here, HTML text input is a string. Let's try A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then this should be equal to okay. This will be an empty string, and this will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's add in some valid A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, dash, dash, I. Try this. Okay, let's try running cargo test on that. Whoops. Oh, this is an HTML child. Oh god, that's gonna be all sorts of fun. Okay. Well, unwrap that. That way we don't have to have this okay. And then we can have a tuple right here and let's get tuple without pattern matching. How do I get a item from a tuple? I don't want to match the tuple values. Okay, well, we will just compare this tuple value then. Whoops, HTML child text, I think is what we said, and this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that. And up here we can simplify all these a little bit further by removing this. Okay. Not the biggest fan of doing that, but it works. So now we're just comparing tuples. And then it will fail if one of these fails. Okay. Oh, I failed my Robin, or I didn't fail, but I got let down from Robinhood today, which was awesome. All sorts of fun. Rejection emails are starting to come in, which is cool. I think actually Jane Street got back to me, which is really good, about not being a good fit, which is fine. But yeah, recruiting season is really starting to come in strong. Expected struct HTML text. This returns an HTML child. That's right. valid string. Why did I put strings in here? Try a conversion method. I hate that really so much. This is just gonna be a messy test. Oh my god, stop putting J's. Okay, there we go. That should be valid now. Let's try testing that. No. Equal cannot be applied to type. Binary operation cannot be applied to type. Blah, blah, blah. I think because I'm not deriving partial equals here. Which sucks. Let's do that real quick. Okay, there we go. I really don't like how I have all of these enums set up, but it is what it is. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. So we just finished that. HTML text accepts valid input. I think probably 2 should be enough for that. I tested with spaces, characters. Let's also run a test for digits. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then like a bunch of other characters, and then change in here. So this should work. And then fn HTML text fails on invalid input. Add a test thing to this, and then I'm just going to do HTML text. Well, it should really, if it starts with these, if it only contains these, it should fail. So HTML text, even something with a single character should fail. And then HTML text, something that has a single unvalid character and then like a ton of other stuff after this should fail. HTML text also should fail on that. So HTML text fails on empty string. Okay, cool. I like how panicking is actually useful in tests. I really, really do. Ooh, let's try adding in a few spaces here actually. Oh wait, I've got to save this. Shoot. Oh, my mouse just failed for a second. Okay. That is not good. Oh, I didn't wrap this in a test. Whoops. Yes, this is one of my first times actually spending the time to write like Rust testing, because usually you don't have to do that as much in Rust, just because it is a very, let me write a test to do a bunch of spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Usually you don't have to do that as much. Accepts valid input. I think I got the number of spaces wrong by 1. So something like this, where like it's a little bit higher stakes. Plus, well, wait, I didn't do that right. Sorry. this parser is like going to be put into production. I hope. HMTL. I cannot read. So it needs tests to make sure it works as expected. So I mean, these aren't too hard to write. These are actually really, really, really easy to write. But yeah. Okay. So this HTML child should just need to test, well, really just failing on invalid input. Well, let's not write a wrapper for HTML child just yet. Let's write one for tag name. Yeah, let's do that. Whoops. Okay. FN tag name of parses input. Assert equals, this should literally, what is it returning? It is returning a string. Okay, cool. Assert equal tag name of that. So that should return a tuple like this. ASDF 1 2 3 4. Assert, what else is valid input? See, I know that this isn't right now, because it is alphanumeric and dashes as well. Dashes are valid input for HTML tag names with custom elements, and for component names. So this tag name function is going to have to change, but ASDF 1 2 3 4, ASDF. Let's try that. Let's be a little bit creative. Okay, write that. Check that works. It probably does. Yep. Okay. Cool. Let's run tests again. FN tag name fails on invalid input. So invalid input would be any, wait, we can just do this. I don't care about what it returns. Invalid input would be a space. So let's just do a single space character. Let's try this and that right there. No, that's, this would not fail. That would parse the first part. So anything that begins with a space like that. Anything that has punctuation in it at the start. Let's add on a thing for this right here. This should really do this. Punctuation, numbers are included. Let's do this, that, and then we need one more test for empty input. Tag name fails on empty input. Tag name like that, unwrap here. That should work. Okay, let's see if this works. Yes, okay, we're good so far. So tag name is done. How do we do, is there a way to see Rust test coverage? Ooh, grcov, okay. Rust tool to collect and aggregate code coverage for multiple source files. I just need Rust stuff. A code coverage tool for Rust. 901. Tarpin is designed to be a code coverage reporting tool Name for a waterproof cloth used to cover cargo on a ship. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I like that quite a lot. How do I install this? Only supports x64 because it... note on tests using signals. Okay, this is done. Measuring test coverage of Rust libraries. I think your solution... okay. So... that kind of sucks that I can't just, you know, see test coverage locally. But that Tarpon library looks like it should fix it. I should write a CI setup for this, really. Okay, so let's write one for attribute char. This is getting overly verbose, but you get the point. Attribute char fails on, or parses valid input. Tag name, sorry, this is not tag name, attribute char. This is going to be anything but, so it looks like any alphanumeric thing, this, and not a line break. So if I do, well, I'm gonna need to assert equal, and then do an unwrap right here, but it is returning a string, not char. Oh yeah, a string. SDF, ASDF, A. Okay. So let's write a few more of these. A valid char is F, so it looks like it's alphanumeric. Also looks like numbers are valid as well. Let's test its behavior with, you know, not picking up stuff afterwards. It's like A, and this should be a space character right here. Anything but a line return. Did we test with a symbol yet? I don't think we did. Let's test with a $sign. This should be empty, and this should be a $sign, and then let's try running that. Failed. Attribute char parses valid input. Okay. Why did we fail? S left. S. Oh, I misspelled something. Whoops. SDF. Oops, this should be an empty string right here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's try this again, see how well that works. Okay, cool. So it parses valid input. Let's write a test for invalid input. Fn attribute char fails on invalid input. I hate that I can't write a description for tests, but whatever. So a space character is invalid. Looks like a few others are invalid as well. Looks like a quote is invalid. A opening one of these, a closing one of these, a singular quote, a space, a carriage return, and new line, and then one of these. And then let's try this with like a space and then valid characters, because that should also fail. Okay, cargo test, cool, 12 tests passed. And then we need to fail on an empty string. Test fn attribute char fails on empty string. And then this is just attribute char empty string dot unwrap. Okay, cool. That should be valid. Let's check that real quick. Ooh, Cash App posted a bingo thing. So attribute char is done. Attribute value double string. Anything that is not a quote. Okay. Test function attribute val. Oh my god, these names. Parses input. No, wait, let's do valid parse. Like that. Attribute. Oh god, attribute value double string. I really should organize these better, but I don't care. Okay, so let me just copy from up here. It looks like it returns an HTML value, which is going to be fun to write the test for. So this is attribute value double string. We're going to, so double string value would be this, and then one of these, and then like ASDF. That, I don't know if we can do escape values. I'm gonna assume that's not valid for right now. And then this right here would be, it returns an HTML value string, okay? I don't know why I don't know why there's a need to do that, but okay. It's literally just this right here, ASDF WRE $% like that. Let's test that real quick. That's probably gonna fail. Yep. Expected string. I have to run .toString on this. I'm gonna have to clean up this interface later. But for right now, we can just write tests around it. Okay, let's test it on a larger input real quick. So like, let's do a bunch of numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Test on symbols. Dash plus this, that, you know, the usual. A slash, like that. This, question mark, this, a single quote. No, we'll test the single quote later. So, like, testing for symbols, working real quick. This needs to go over here. Okay, there we go. Try to test real quick. It runs correctly. So if we have one with just a single quote in there, let's change to this slash. Okay, let us do a single quote, 4 single quotes to be correct. That should be completely valid. Okay. What is input that would fail? I think that looks, oh, we didn't test with spaces real quick. I'm not gonna write the code for escaping one of these just yet, because I don't feel like that's necessarily necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is just going to do strings. I also don't think that's valid HTML necessarily, as far as I know. Okay, cool. Ton of assertions. Oh, it can't see inside one of these tests unless if that works. Okay, cool. Function attr val hub string invalid. What fails? Okay, that's a really bad name, but attribute value double string. So if it is a bunch of spaces, it's going to fail. If it is an unterminated string like this, if it starts off valid but it has an unterminated string, that's going to fail. If it is a piece of quotes like this, right? It's like this and that is going to fail as well. If it starts with a space, then has a valid string after it, like that, and that should fail as well. Cardo test. Okay, cool. Yeah, because this is just responsible for a single empty string. Okay. Cool. Okay, attribute value double string. I think this works as expected. Then expect some input. There isn't. Why am I doing my own test for an empty input? That's so dumb. An empty input should fail. Yep, okay, cool. Okay, let's write one for our single string, which we can basically just recopy this test. Attribute value ing string. So like right here, replace this with that. And then this should still parse. Oh, I didn't test. Oh boy. I'm getting recruiter emails. That's all sorts of fun. So let's do like a single quote here. I guess that's a valid string here. And then it wanted me to test with space. Okay. So this should be singular quote, and this should be spaces. Okay, let's test this out. Oh, no. Nope. Okay, there we go. Changed it to single. That should compile now, I hope. Yep, okay, cool. And then for our invalid input, we can just copy this test right here. Down here. Okay, this right here needs to be, well, I can't do that. Needs to be single. This right here should be that, and then we just need to go in here and replace each of these with this. Okay. So this is valid input, but just off by a little bit, right? So like spaces, stuff like that. Okay, cool. So an attribute value is going to be one of those two. Since we already have tests for testing a valid double string or not, I'm gonna test like a single invalid input test, a single, how many lines of tests have I written so far? I'm basically writing double the amount of tests, which is as expected. So yeah, I'm going to, afternoon after. Oh no, I can't open my calendar right now. Sorry. Okay. So, let's keep finishing up these things very quickly. Okay, this let's write a test for an attribute value. I really want to get onto like the element names because this is getting boring. Function attribute value parses valid input. Okay, what is this returning? Attribute value, okay, so this is basically just a routing function, sort of. It tests for a double string, then for a single string, and then returns this like input right here, or passes an input. So all I need to test is to make sure that it returns really an HTML value, and then make sure it fails on something that is not a valid HTML value. Well, yes. No. Yeah, really all I want to test is, I already have tests for all of these. How do I test this? Yeah, no, let's repeat our, I guess just copy and paste our double string parse test, or we can make a function that will sort of, have a, a valid input and, let's just do a single test for this, because we already have tests for for our double string and our single string. We just want to test that both of these really work on this. So let's try ASDF. Let's test that. This should, well, this should be equal to, if I unwrap it, an empty string, and then HTML value string, and then this has to be a string for whatever reason. Sometimes I hate Rust's data types, but it is what it is. And then that should work. Okay, let's just do a single test just to make sure each of these work. If each of these other tests pass, and both of these tests I'm gonna write for this one pass, then that should be enough. Parses single string. So basically all we're testing for is making sure that it parses valid attribute values, and then doesn't parse invalid attribute values. Okay, so this should work. And then let's just write a quick failure test. Invalid input fails. Okay. And then this is just attribute value, I guess ASDF, unwrap, error, empty input, test on this, test with an empty, like the start of a string, and then test with the start of one of these. So that should all fail. Okay, let's test this. It works. 20 tests pass. We've written 20 tests so far, which is really good. Okay. So attribute name is, why am I using many 0 here? I don't think that's not valid. That's not a valid attribute name. This should be many 1. Glad I caught that. So yeah, function attribute name parses valid name. It returns a string, which I don't like. I wish I could return an str from there, but oh well, it is what it is. I might need to see later if there's a way for me to like combine all of those bytes without having to do an into iter and collecting them, because that would be great if so. Attribute name parses valid name. So this is, at least it's, you know, a string. So valid name is any attribute characters. So we already are checking to make sure this works. So looks like we can have a dash. So let's try it with this. So do an empty string right there, and then do ASDF, ASDF. Try that. Numbers are valid attribute names. Apparently, I didn't know this. Just straight up numbers. I kind of assumed it had to start with like a character, or like a regular character. Stuff with spaces. So we have a valid thing like this, and then a space, and then maybe a bracket. What is one of our invalid characters? These. Okay, yeah, like that. This should have this in there, and then ASDF, ASDF as the return result. Oh, this has to be .toString. Just gonna throw a compile timer. I love how Rust forces you to write all of this valid code. This is really, really nice. This is going to fail. Nope. Okay, cool. Symbols. Let's test symbols real quick because those are valid as well. I'm just gonna go across. Do that because I think that should work. And so we'll do this again right over here. And there we go. Test failed. Oh wait, I have this little string thing right here. Whoops, sorry. Okay, cool, it gives me exactly what I need. Let's write one. Test function attribute name fails invalid input. Okay, and then this is just a much easier case to write for. Because I don't want to compare that error type. Okay. So if we have a singular space, if we have empty input, if we have a singular space and then a valid name, if we have any of these, we're already testing characters. I'm just testing for behavior now. If we have a quote and the start of a valid name, or if we have maybe like this, that's not a valid attribute name, and so this should fail. Yep, there we go. For instance, if I do this, this will not fail. Yep, okay, cool. That works as expected. Yeah, this doesn't tell me where this fails. I might want to get back in here later and make these a little bit more legible because a lot of these failure tests are not particularly great. It doesn't tell you where it failed, which sucks. Oh, nope, there it is. It tells you exactly where. Okay, never mind. That's good. That's exactly what I wanted. So yeah, that should work. Okay, attribute name, and then HTML attribute is just stitching this together. So it starts with an optional space, an attribute name, optional space, and equals. This is not valid, so you can have an attribute without that equals. So I'm gonna need to rewrite this later. Let me add in a to-do right here. It's like to add support attributes without attribute values. So I'm gonna skip writing it. Well, no, I'm gonna. Man, I don't know how I want to write this. I might want to take a break actually and set up CI real quick so that I can do this. Rust CI, GitHub Actions. Let me go ahead and comment with this. Add better test coverage. And push this. Okay. So there we go. Rust CI is moving to GitHub Actions. Repositories, which can be used for full quick start if you're not familiar with GitHub Actions, never used. Okay, this workflow checks latest stable Rust version and invokes these commands in parallel. Okay. Cargo format, cargo Clippy. Cargo to check. So let's run a quick cargo check. That works. Cargo test. Okay. Cargo FMT. Beautiful. That, I don't know what it just did. I think it just replaced a lot of this and made this more legible. Remind me to run that multiple times. Cargo FMT and cargo Clippy. So I think FMT should have fixed a lot of stuff. Oh, cool. Okay. Change, what is it? 26? That's not 26. Oh, analyzer.rs. 26. Okay. So that's cool. Let me look at, I know Clippy has higher stuff, higher lint rules. Okay. Cargo Clippy all. No, there's no Clippy all. Automatically running from the command line without installing it. Travis CI configurations. Some lints can be configured in a TOML file. See the list of lints. You can set up your code using okay, so if I go into lib.rs, I can do allow Clippy. Oh god, all. I have a really, really bad feeling about this. Cargo Clippy. Okay. Did I really write valid Rust code? Like, according to Clippy? All lints using both Clippy and Clippy pedantic lint groups. Oh, okay. Allow. Let's try deny. Clippy all. Clippy pedantic. Some. Oh, okay. Okay. Use of a wildcard import. Try parser. I don't like that. Where am I doing that? Analyzer dot. Oh well. That could put something in scope. I agree. That's not necessarily the best thing. Okay. What am I using here? HTML start tag, HTML end tag. I'm using HTML element and HTML child. Okay. The lint level is defined here. Note. Okay. Docs for function returning results, missing errors, stuff. Oh, okay. Never mind. I really don't want Clippy's pedantic stuff on here. Okay. So let's do cargo Clippy. There we go. I do like that it gave me that stuff. That was really, really nice of it, though. Cargo FNT. Okay, so it'll run Cargo Clippy and all this other stuff for me automatically, which is amazing. And I can just sort of copy and paste this in. Okay. So I can copy and paste this. Run some stuff. Push. This is probably the highest quality Rust code I've ever written. I've been live for an hour and a half. It's probably about time for me to actually get to my schoolwork today. Do Sparkle VM. Actions. Set up this workflow. Build dash verbose. Test verbose. Cargo build. Oh, I have something to paste in here. Continuous integration, check. Ubuntu latest, FNT, Clippy, check. Okay, cool. Start commit. Okay. Create rust.yml. Commit directly to the branch, and then hopefully we are running this. Awesome. Okay, so this is queued. We have 4 queued jobs. It runs them all separately, which is amazing. You know, I love having recruiters reach out to me for companies I do not know. 4 in progress jobs, check. So this is running a quick cargo check, not building it. I don't care about building it. Our test suite is running all of our 20-something tests. Cannot find cargo.toml in any directory. Oh, this failed. Let's set up a workspace for this, actually. That way I can just run it directly from the root directory. Workspace. How do I do the cargo workspace again? Cargo workspaces, members, compiler. Okay. So cd / cargo test, and then this should work. Fetching. It's going to build all of that. Amazing, 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 amazing. That way, I know I'm gonna, at some point, I'm gonna need to write a VM in Rust, specifically for doing all this. That's going to need to be written in, I have a really, really good template engine sort of thing that I use for, that I use in my, well, okay, cool. This, it's like it works. Okay, so this should now work. Oh, I have to pull changes first. Whoops. Okay, there we go. We stand Git. Actually, we really do. My new job, oh my god, it uses GitHub. I love it so much. Ugh. So great. So awesome just to be able to use all that. Okay, is this going to rerun our test suite? Rerun all jobs. You successfully requested a rerun. So check is going to do a cargo check, and this should work with cargo workspaces, as far as I know. Yep, okay, cool. It installs it all, does all that. I don't know if this is caching everything, so it might be getting all this every time, which I don't know if I like, but okay. Why did we fail? Could not find cargo.toml in /home/runner. Oh, this is running specifically on this commit, merge branch master. Oh, there we go. Check, cargo, check the test suite completed. Post run, run actions, RS, complete job, run actions, toolchain. It doesn't show the output for cargo check, which I don't like. But it does run everything, which is awesome. Okay, cool. So we have CI now set up, which is great. Tell us more about GitHub Actions. No thanks. GitHub Actions. Show test results. Is there a way to do this? Publishing test results. AppFair or Azure DevOps. GitHub status API. Okay. Rust test coverage. GitHub Actions. Usage. grcov works with coverage data generated by the unstable profile. Uses, it's called cargo clean command if any of the blah blah blah. grcov tool aggregates code information from multiple source files, processes GDCA files, which can be used in some stuff. On push, so let me edit my little GitHub rust.yml thing. Jobs, check, test, format, Clippy, and then let's add a lint thing because I want to see code coverage. Set this right there. Okay, code coverage. Runs on Rust flags, Rust docs, command test, args, all features, no fail fast. Uses nightly. How does it aggregate it? I have no clue where it's putting this, but okay. Let's publish this. Add updates. Add code coverage test. I do really like GitHub Actions. It is so nice. I don't know how GitHub is able to afford to host all this stuff for free for little developers like me, you know, but it's really great that they do that. Favorite cloud platform by far. Ooh, register to vote. Awesome. Love that too. Let us look at our CI status and see what this is doing. So it is running all of this. Downloading crates, it's building everything. It looks like, I don't know if it was smart to run these all as separate processes. Compiling everything. Yeah, as this gets bigger, this is going to do like a lot of concurrent jobs. Like quite a lot. Okay. Run actions, grcov. This is taking a minute to run. Either that or it's just not showing up. Compiling compiler. There we go. Test results. Unable to load grcov config. Searching for installing grcov. So uses actions grcov cargo v1. And this is running our test coverage stuff. Okay. So this is going to run our test twice. It's taking go wild. I just wanna fuck shit up and just ride. How to get grcov. Grcov can be downloaded. Oh, okay. Cargo install grcov. Cool. Example: how to generate .gcda files, generate an HTML support, or blah blah blah, like this. How do I generate GCDA files? Coveralls, codecov, output, grcov with Travis, alternate reports. Auto formatting. Okay, execute grcov, generated coverage report, attempt, complete job. This doesn't help me at all. This doesn't help me. That's so dumb. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, so removing this code coverage job. Rust. Tutorial. RIP. How to generate a branch coverage report. I like that the tooling is easy to set up, at least. Like, this literally was just copying and pasting a bunch of stuff. Code coverage is quite useful if you want to see how good your tests are. Personally, I find line coverage not particularly insightful except for a rough overview on, I love all the stuff on here. I don't know what any of this means. Why am I drawbacks? Panicking is not supported. Coverage for match is bizarre. Okay. Well, at least it generated a coverage report. Lcov output usage. That's not anywhere in here. How to generate this for a Rust project. Builder code. This is taking forever to compile. Okay. That doesn't look too hard, actually. grcov is taking forever to compile, though. It is extremely slow. Yeah, wow. I like Rust tests. I really like them, actually. I think it's probably the fact that it's just built into the framework by default, or not the framework, the language by default in a cargo. Sorry. Really love it. I've never really worked with a better piece of software before. Look at how beautifully it formatted my code. Those are very simple tests, to be fair, but they're just testing streams. So now I can be a lot more confident that, I mean, as I write more and more tests for this, that this parser actually works, right? And I may not have to come back. I have post notifications set up for a lot of people on Twitter. Speaking of, let us commit this and push this, remove code coverage stuff. Is Coveralls a free tool? Test coverage history and statistics. Pricing. Coverall plans, open source. Coveralls is and will always be free for open source software. Apparently I gotta stand up now. I also have to go to the store sometime today. Okay, cool. grcov, so we paste all of this stuff. Well, not that. Yeah, that's gonna, of course that's going to fail. So we paste this into here, and then we paste this Rust flags into here. And then we do Rust doc flags in here, and then we run cargo build. Real quick, with all those flags on, it's going to have to build everything. Shoot. Okay. Not bad. It's just going to take a while. I feel like as this project gets bigger, it's going to take much longer to compile, which I'm fine with. I have a small Rust project that is not too large. What is this quote? Great. Why does it take so long to, oh my god, that is so laggy. This provides the quote macro for quasi-quoting, for turning Rust syntax tree data structures into tokens of source code. Right, Rust code that gets packaged into a token stream and can be treated as data. You should think of token stream as representing fragments of source code. So basically you can write Rust source code and this will do the job of doing stuff. Okay. Rust macros are compile time, by the way, which is super, super cool. Wow. That is a lot of downloads. 25, oh, just 25,000. Why does it have 0.4? 80,000 downloads. Okay. Okay, after I run this, after I run cargo build, I run cargo test to run my tests. Okay, there we go. And then we just generate a debug report. Well, no, I think my target directory is right here. Yes, okay. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Open dot. Okay, target debug coverage next.html. Okay, yeah, that's valid. Line coverage. Our parser has 100% line coverage. That's not true. That is really not true. Okay, parser.rs has 36 line coverage. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. Lines, total, we don't need it for right here. I don't need tests for these. These are just enums. So yeah, line coverage is not useful to me. Analyzer.rs, yeah, not particularly good. 36.7% coverage, 13.9% function coverage. How do I only have 13.9% function coverage? That's so dumb. Okay, that's pretty cool though. I don't know why it thinks I have. Oh, the test coverage package has 100% test coverage. Yeah, I put that there. Yeah, that's 156 out of 156 lines. That's the only green I get. RIP. Okay, well, I'm probably gonna end the stream here because I have other work to do, and I probably should have not spent so much time writing tests for a lot of this today. But as I work on this compiler and continue getting things up to speed, I am going to, I have 20 commits on this already, oh my god. As I write more code, it's more important that I write tests for it because I don't want to discover bugs in production for these small parser combinators. So it is very, very important that these act how I expect. So yeah, I will be testing this fairly thoroughly, but it's not going to all happen at once. I've written a good bit of code, and I've got to document that code properly, you know. I really like how it's starting to take shape though. Like writing a compiler in Rust is pretty fun. You know, because I've got in this bin, basically, I have a parser and an analyzer, and then I have a thing that's going to do the code gen, that's going to generate the actual like bytecode stuff for this. I mean, look at this code. This looks gorgeous to work with. We pass in a reference, this analyze tree, the analyze tree function works how you expect. I can't click to stuff, but that's okay. Really, really, really like working with this. Okay, that is going to have to be the stream for me. Thank you for watching, for those